we live.
Yo, so it's on. Is it from now on? We doing Facebook, not Facebook Live, but YouTube Live. Um, so basically, we need to tell people to tap into YouTube to see what we're talking about instead of Facebook like we were before. Essentially,
Okay.
right? Okay,
Yeah, and we already recorded, so they should know.
that'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work. I'm gonna
Okay,
start making some
so
posts about it too, cause
let's talk about, how to set them goals, how to get the right mindset uh, with fitness and nutrition and basically everything in life. If y'all look back at some of the previous lives, I always say you got to make your mind up first,
for sure.
whatever that goal may be, or however you want to look, or however you want to eat. The first thing you need to do is make your mind up and let yourself know that you're gonna do it, because you can do anything that you put your mind to. And another thing I suggest is writing it down. You know, instead of putting it in your phone and instead of just keeping it in your head, like get your piece of paper and a pencil and a pen out and clearly write down what your goal is, so you can look at it and see it and then visualize it, and you can keep going back to that paper, just keep looking at it, and you can document your journey, the same way, if you go ahead and write it down. Whatever you want to weigh, write it down. Even though that weight don't really matter at the end, if you feel how you're supposed to feel, and if you look how you want to look, and if you are healthy, you'll find out that sometimes that goal weight that you set, that number is not that important. Because it don't matter if you can lose 100 pounds, but if you're unhealthy,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? You're still unhealthy.
Mhm.
So you wanna be healthy with your weight loss or with your weight gain. So I would suggest, writing it down. And once you write it down, where you want to get to, then also write down the steps that it's going to take to get you where you want to be. You know, I'm a firm believer in writing stuff down. And actually, there's a book in the Bible and a verse. I think you pronounce it Habakkuk. I think it's the second chapter, second verse, where God is saying, write the vision down.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's, and I could be wrong on that chapter in that verse, but I know that's the right book, because it's actually my scripture. But I'm kind of a little scatterbrained right now, but it's
That
in
is
there.
so true. But that is so true.
Um,
I can relate to you too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the goals that I have for myself, if I don't write them down, I do not accomplish that goal. But the ones that I do write down, it's like I'll make it, and then I'll be like, "Oh, you wrote everything down. Go look at the first sentence that you wrote down, and look at the date that you wrote down. Like you did it in 3 months, or you did it in 6 months, or you did it in a year." So I believe that writing stuff down and tracking progress, I think that's a recipe for success. I think it's take a slight right turn to merge onto I-26. Excuse that GPS, y'all. But I think it's a key component in being successful, by simply just writing it down and look at it every day. Every single day you wake up, get your notebook out, look at your goal. Give yourself some affirmations, let yourself know you can do it. Get your mindset right, because there's a lifestyle change right here, so
Mhm.
if it took you 20, 30 years to get into the unhealthy situation that you're in, it's going to take a while to reverse all that, but it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, many people may not know how to do it. You may not know where to start, but that's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach out to any one of us on this live, with any question that you may have, and we can direct you into the right path. We have all kind of tools that we can provide for you. You know, if you're trying to document this journey and be more accountable, I created something that can help hold you accountable in the form of a journal. You got 2 other professionals on this live right now, and one is not here. So you got all the help that you need right here on this live to get to wherever it is that you want to go. We got business coach on here, you know. We got life coaches. We got bodybuilding coaches, you know. Physique coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you may need, we got it. So, you know, my opinion about getting there is making your mind up, telling yourself daily that you can do it and you are gonna do it. Write it down, document your journey, and just do it. It's that simple. Just make your mind up and do it.
One
And
thing,
stop.
Bernard, you say though, some people don't want to do it. That's the crazy thing about it. Some people don't want to do. They want all of that, but they just don't want to do it. When it comes
And
to the
the
action part, they don't do that part.
yeah, and the ones that don't want to do it, you will not get there.
Take a slight right turn.
That's just the truth. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. My
That's a
other
fact.
2 partners are not gonna sugarcoat this
Fact.
because we didn't get where we are today by not doing it. The only reason we got to where we are today is because we decided we wanted to have it and we went and got it, and here we are now.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact, bro. And that's not even just in fitness and health. That's in anything in life.
Yeah, everything in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
You got to have a plan. You know, write it down so you can see it.
For 31 miles.
And
Because
take
without
action on it.
writing it down, it's just they say it's just a dream, you know, and it becomes a goal once you put it to paper. So once you put something to paper, you know, now it's a legit goal. So now you can actually start working towards something. So I think that it's important. I think, like you said, man, I mean, you encompassed everything when you said what you said just now, honestly, because a lot of people have to get to that point where they just kind of fed up with their circumstances that they're in right now. And until you really get fed up, typically you don't make a decision. And that's unfortunate. That's just how it is. Like, normally you have to get to your wits end and then you make a decision. And typically,
Yeah.
most people, unfortunately, you know, it takes a lot of people going through a health scare or something like that typically. But, you know, it doesn't have to take that. You know, you don't have to wait till it gets that far gone to make a decision. But you do have to make a decision, though. And then, like, you know, like Bernard said, stick to it. So I think that there's power in the pen. So I think, you know, putting something to paper is big. I've written goals down 2-3 years ago. Just for the first time ever have I like written a goal down in like a journal. I wrote stuff down and put it on like little sticky notes and put it throughout the house. But like writing stuff down in the journal, like, and then coming back to it through, you know, 2 or 3 years later to see that, you know, damn near everything that I put down on that goal list had been accomplished in about 3 years, and I did it shorter in a shorter period of time than I set out for myself. So I wasn't even constantly looking at mine every day. But it's crazy because I would put it down on paper and I would see it every so often, you know what I'm saying? And then I kind of would just work towards it. I would get caught up in the work and forget about the goal because I was so focused on the work. And then eventually I noticed that I looked back and I was like, dang, I've actually accomplished almost every single thing on that list. So I think
check it off the list, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But I
that's all
think
you gotta
sometimes
do.
you get so, I think we can be so encompassed by like the vision of what we want to accomplish instead of actually giving more energy to the actual work that needs to be done to get the thing accomplished. So I think, like you said, writing things down, sticking to it, and then actually falling in love with the process. The more enjoyable you can make something, the better chances you have of sticking with it. So a lot of people feel like dieting has to be bland and boring and not fun, and that's not necessarily true, you know. So if you can make something enjoyable to some degree, or at least make it more enjoyable, then you have a better chance of sticking with that thing. So and once you start seeing success, typically it's a lot easier to stick with something than it is when you haven't seen success in that area. So
Yes,
I
sir.
tell people real, you know, that, and that's just real. So if you focus on doing the work every single day, this is like they say, lay a brick one day at a time, right? You know, because if you get caught up in the whole house, it sometimes seems like it might be too large of a task to accomplish. But if you just focus on each day laying that brick perfectly, and then the very next day you do the same thing. Before you know it, over a certain amount of time, you got a house. But a lot of times focusing on that big goal, sometimes to some people can be too much. And so I think sometimes it's good to bite off small pieces and small chunks at a time. Set a realistic goal, accomplish that. Small term goal, accomplish that, and then set another one. And start building trust within yourself. Because a lot of people, just to be honest with you, they don't trust themselves. So they tell themselves they're gonna do stuff every time New Year's roll around, right? I'm gonna do a New Year's resolution, and they don't stick with it. So now
Yeah.
they don't even believe themselves when they say they're gonna do things, right? So that's why it's so easy to fall off, because they're so used to saying things to themselves and then not following through. So in order to break that habit, what you got to do is you got to start building trust with yourself. And so how you build trust is start having small wins over a cumulative amount of time. And before you know it, now when you say you're going to do something, you know you're going to do it, because now you've proven to yourself already multiple times with small goals that you're going to do them. And so now it's easier for you to believe yourself when you have a big goal that you set. So I think we have to understand that we're our biggest critics. Your subconscious and conscious means so much. People don't even understand that. What your subconscious tells your conscious, it believes it, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between the two. So you have to be very careful about what you say to yourself. Very careful about what you say to yourself. Speaking positive, speaking negative, what you bring in, as they say, and it's biblical, I guess, in some sense. Your veil, you have to protect what you hear, what you eat, what you see, because you become the things that you consume. So I think that we have to have a diet. And when I say diet, I mean, like when people hear the word diet, they think about food, but diet can be literally like your behavior patterns. Like, what is your daily diet?
Yeah.
What is your business diet? What is your habit diet? Like, what are the things that you're doing? I can look at your habits and kind of tell what type of person you are. So you have to start building good habits, and you got to do that small increments at a time to build trust with yourself. Once you build trust with yourself, there's nothing you can't do.
That's so true.
You got to
I
start
would
small.
say, I would like to add also, be careful of your thoughts too.
Yeah, that's
You know,
so
your
good.
thoughts are very powerful, because what you think about, sometimes you can become what you think about all the time also. So like
Hey,
JT said, sometimes you got to go on a diet from other things other than food. Because if you're listening to,
yes, sir.
say you're listening to murder rap, talking about killing and doing drugs all the time, that can get in your subconscious, and it can change your whole mood, a whole spirit. A whole spirit can come over you and make you do all kind of crazy things that you never thought you would do, just by listening and thinking about stuff. So
That's
that's a gold nugget that JT just said about
That's a gold nugget.
taking a diet from other things besides food. You can diet from social media, from your cell phone usage, from the people that you hang around with. I mean, the list is endless, but those thoughts, that can be very detrimental if you're having bad thoughts.
Yeah. They
Yes.
what was the philosopher, the poem writer? Was it Ralph Waldo Emerson said that a man
Yes,
is what
he
he
did.
thinks about all day.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what you daily think about on a regular basis, you start to become, you know, things. They say thoughts become things. And man, if that ain't if that ain't true, shit, I don't know what is, you know, because essentially think like me and Larry talked about this on a call one day, a coaching call. Literally everything we do, everything we utilize in this world that we have in society today was a thought at one point.
Yeah,
This
the
computer, these
YouTube that we
phones,
streaming on was a thought. Yeah,
like someone thought about this first in order for it to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything that you think about can become reality. So you have to really protect your thoughts. You really do. Because, you know, you realize, and once you understand that fully, or should I say overstand that instead of understand that, once you overstand that, then you realize that you can manifest whatever it is that you want, literally, whether it be physical, whether it be monetary, whether it be financial, whatever it may be. You literally can manifest whatever it is that you want into your life. So I know it sounds kind of spiritual and cliche, but it is. I mean, we are spiritual beings, and I know that's on another topic. But at the same time, like once you understand what you are and who you are, all this other stuff is just it's really
all vanity.
Yeah, it's really secondary. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the facts of the matter.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Yeah. One thing y'all said, and y'all laugh, and I'm late. Well, when y'all said, Bernard, I laughed when you said it. You said you got to document it.
Mhm.
This is years. It's a year of information.
Dang.
You got to document.
Yeah, that's crazy.
1 year.
Yeah.
That's a 1 year information.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah,
wild.
yeah.
Yeah. So you got to
definitely.
document everything. Bernard, when you said that, I said, that's true. But
Yeah.
one thing I noticed, and this is a game off of what y'all said, the night before is the most important part of doing this. Because if you don't schedule yourself the night before, you can't prepare yourself for the next day.
I agree.
Yeah. So
You already late then.
Huh?
I said if you wait till the next day to prepare, you just showed up late.
You showed up late.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
you document it
Right.
as you go. And you should stretch it out. Really, to be honest with you, you should stretch it out monthly. And you start yearly first, then go monthly, then you can go weekly, and then daily. So you can track it and just document it.
I agree.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you document it every day as a journal, then you'll know what your pitfalls are. You know how to pick it back up. And, you make the journey. Start your day off how you know it, how your schedule is, how you do your day, how you do your things. Start writing down the things that trigger you to make you go procrastinate. So if you see yourself strolling on your phone, write down the time that you exactly did it and start paying attention to the habits that you're doing. And then from there, you can actually start tracking, okay, why do I procrastinate around this time? Is it something that's making me feel this way? And then you can kind of understand how to go through it and maneuver through it. Or, because it goes down to eating habits. Everybody has a program of time they want to eat every day. Usually some people that's out there, they'll say, all right, I'm going to fast to this time, but you already set the time that you have to do it, but you set for it. So some people that like to eat maybe around 11 o'clock or noon, it depends on what you are. You have to actually set it up that way and just document, okay, I eat this time. Why am I having this habit of eating this way? And be clear on if you're trying to change it. If you're always eating that way and you wonder why you're gaining weight, that can be the problem. You know what I mean? You may be dumping it on around that time. Or if you see yourself, for people out there working a job, you may sit down one day and that might be a stress reliever. You go in the refrigerator and grab something out of there just to snack them because you're bored. And then that starts to create the habit. So you got to start documenting, like Bernard said earlier, document it. Because if you don't document your habits or what you're doing, you can't be actually really clear on how to fix it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I want to ask.
Totally agree.
Well,
yeah.
So, and this is not a plug by any means, but it technically could be. So on my future webinar that I got coming up, I'm speaking about the conscious and subconscious. There's a whole section about just that. I want to speak about how important that is. If you guys think about when you were in school, elementary school, probably when you were started writing your name, you've written your name so much now at this point, you can write your name damn near without even looking because it's almost like second nature, right? It's been programmed into you. You've written it out so much that your name now, so you can write it almost in your sleep, subconsciously. You can just write your name out without even thinking about it. So I didn't understand this when I was younger, why teachers would make you write things repeatedly over and over and over again, right? And why it was so much important that they wanted to keep writing things and assignments into school as opposed to typing everything, right? And there's a reason for that. Because when you write stuff down, for some reason, your mind makes a connection with it more than actually typing it up, okay? So when you're writing your goals down, your subconscious is being programmed when you're writing and you're actually doing it because you're having to think about what you're actually writing and putting it to paper. So now your subconscious is working completely different than if you were just typing something or reading something or saying it out loud. When you write it down, it's almost like you're having a conversation with yourself, your own consciousness. So when you subconsciously write your goals down, what happens is now you have a better connection mentally with your goals that you actually put to paper. So that's why a lot of times we don't really understand why people do things or why you say you should write certain things out so many times a day or whatever. These methods, there's a reason behind the madness, because essentially what you're doing is you're reprogramming your mind and your brain on what you think and how you think. So I can't stress that enough, how important that is for each one of us to understand how powerful our conscious is and our subconscious. It is extremely important to understand and master that. And that's not something that we're always 100% master, but you can become better at it than you are at the moment. And so the more time you put into that, and the more actually effort you put into reprogramming yourself mentally, the better off you'll be. You literally can program yourself to do whatever it is you want. So I know they say we don't use but like maybe 5 to 10% of our brains. There's so many different, so much more that we don't even have access to because we're just literally not tapped into it mentally. But I think that people can program themselves to tap into more of their consciousness than what most people have access to. It just takes some time and takes some work, but you know, it's just like anything you do over repeatedly. You don't have to think about it. It just comes natural to you. And so it's not that you were born that way. You've just done that thing so many times. You have so many reps that you've done that thing or wrote whatever it is or played that instrument or shot that ball or whatever it is you do. You've done it so much. People would say you become a master at it because literally, like Bruce Lee said, he feared the guy that did the one punch 1,000,000 times as opposed to a guy that knew 1,000,000 punches or 1,000,000 kicks or whatever it was. Like, that makes a lot of sense because that person's literally mastered that one thing now. You know, so you can do that same thing with your subconscious. You can literally begin to start mastering how you think and how you control your thoughts. You know, I used to not think you could do that. I used to think, well, how can I control what I think? Like, that just happens. I can't control that. But you really can, though. You really can. It takes time and it's not easy. And I'm not even mastered it. But what I am saying is that you can become better at doing so if you actually start putting the effort to literally program yourself. And it has to do with like what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, how often you read, if you read at all that stuff makes a difference. You know, I used to hate reading. I used to hate it. But when I realized it was a life hack, I was like, oh shit, I can be a better version of myself if I read. Like, all right, cool, I'm down. You know?
Yeah. See, the thing about it is ignorance. We already know ignorance is the truth. You know what I mean? If we ignorant to everything that we come across, somebody probably gave you a book before and you were just ignorant not to receive it. And
I was just like,
time in your life. And
facts.
And you got to understand in some situations that it's born that way. Our story is already written, how we are, or what we're going to become, but our subconscious is how it paints the canvas. You know what I mean? Think about a picture. When you paint a picture of art, some people may look at the art and say, I don't see it. Of course they don't see it because it's not for them to see. And, and a lot of people in the world think that when they're doing something, it's art, that if they don't see it, it's like, I don't see it. But somebody else will walk up to it and can tell you precisely exactly what it is because they see it, they understand it because they match who you are. And that's just a connection of how you do it. But it's all about putting it on paper and becoming the person you need to become. Because if you don't become the person, you'll never meet the other people that you're trying to meet. So it's got to be that way. It's got to be that way. And if you're in a situation where you listen consuming so much other information, you're not receiving any information. You're just consuming. We always consume things instead of receiving. You know what I mean? You can receive
that's deep,
social media. It's like watching TV, or you can consume a book and get all the information from a book or a YouTube video or something. But you got to consume the information because once you consume it. It's all about depends on what. To be honest with you, what you are consuming. Because if you're consuming negative stuff, it can take you to whatever you're trying to go. If it's positive stuff or where you're trying to go, you can navigate there. And problems, if you have problems, you got to understand every problem can always be fixed. It's nothing. If you can get up every day and it's another day, you can always fix a problem because we're living and breathing. You know, so a lot of people fall short of that. Maybe I didn't get in the gym. Maybe I had a bad year where I didn't get my exercise in like I should. You know, I don't believe in New Year's. Just start soon. The thought pop in your head, just go ahead and do it because you set the date to actually do it. 9 out of 10 when that date comes, you're not gonna really to do it because if it came to you then, you really want to run. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
I
real.
find myself as soon as I have an idea, I need to do something with it right then.
You got to implement. You know what I
As
mean?
soon as
It
it
may
get
not.
downloaded, I gotta. Once it's downloaded to me, I gotta do something with it. I got the faith that I can do something with it, so I got to do the work. Whatever work
Yeah,
it takes, got to work that idea.
yeah. But it's got to
Um,
match. I heard this before, and
Mhm.
I got this from the mastermind. They said if you get something in your head, take the whole day to just write it down, or don't write it down then, but take the whole day to just do it. Just go out in the day and you think about it. And at the end of the day, if you still remember it, write it down, because that's the thought that's still there. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you prick your finger and
yeah,
every time you touch it, it's gonna hurt because you pricked it. It's aggravated. So if it's sitting in your head and it's
yeah,
aggravating you, you go through the whole day and you can document it on paper. It's more important because some stuff we write down may not be worth writing down. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you gotta track it that way. If you're doing goal setting, this is for goal setting. If you're tracking it that way, and be precise on it.
Yeah, that's important too, because I think a lot of
Anybody
times,
got something else they want to leave the clear goals?
make sure it's an achievable goal, something that you know that's possible. You know, you want to dream big, but like JT said and Larry said, you got to do it one brick at a time.
facts.
So like, don't make your goal so big that when you look at that goal, you be like, nah, that's too much. I can't do it. It's you got to, it's different levels to it. Before you can get a mansion, you got to lay foundation.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Before you get to a $10,000 month, you got to get to $100 month first,
Yeah,
and then do that 100 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
and learn the
But
seasons that go with
don't
that.
yeah, but don't make that goal so big that it should scare you, but you should not make it so big that it deters you from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to
Because
start
if,
off small.
'cause if it don't scare you, your dream is not big enough. But don't make it too big to where you don't even start, though.
Yeah, I think you should have macro goals and then micro goals.
Yeah,
Because, like you say, it depends on what type of person you are. Like we're talking about, I'm speaking right now on someone that's just now starting to set goals for themselves, right? So if
yeah,
anybody's listening, they've already built that confidence with themselves, and that may not necessarily be the same process. But someone who's just not getting into something, you need to set like Bernard said, realistic, small, small obtainable goals, short term goals, so you can actually see the harvest of what you've been sowing for, say 2-3 weeks. Saying something small, 3 or 4 week goals, and then once you get enough of those small wins, like I talked about, you're building trust with yourself. So now you can set those big goals long term down the road because you've already accomplished the small ones. So now you have the confidence in yourself to stick with what you say you're going to do. So you have that trust with yourself now, right? So now you can set, a big goal that you don't know can be obtained or not, because now you having something you're striving for. But I think people that are just getting started don't need to do that. They need to set, like you say, realistic, small, micro goals to
yeah,
get themselves in the process of trusting themselves, right, and building that rapport with themselves. I think that's a major key.
Yeah.
yeah. Go. Y'all need to check Larry. He'll put stuff on there on his group. If you're not a member of it, you need to be a member of it, because he'll send a message out and say, what was your win for the week? What was your small wins for the week? That's the way
Mm-hmm.
to help his community track their wins for the
Yeah.
week on that micro cycle that JT is talking about, and they are compound to be a
Mm-hmm.
macro goal. I'm sorry. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what this community is for.
Exactly. It's almost like doing a push-up. You know what I mean? If somebody's doing a push-up for the first time, you knew you was trash, but the more you keep doing it, it's a goal. You know what I mean? You had that goal in your head to get there.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you see it, you know. But that goal that you set for yourself, be clear on it. Be directly clear on it. Every day, take action on it. I don't care if it's uncomfortable to you. It says it's a focus mode and it's called diffuse mode, because you're going diffusing where you're trying to set that goal for yourself and then you start procrastinating later on, or you start going down a different journey. So you got to actually keep yourself in focus mode, and sometimes you got to unwind, because a lot of people, this goes to certain people that's too intentional on their goals. Sometimes you need to take your time and relax, go do things to kind of unwind from doing things sometimes, because if you're so clear on your goals, sometimes that may be too much of a focus and you may miss on things. So take a break sometime. Even like if you're weight loss, that's why you give yourself a cheat meal, because you're rewarding yourself for the reward you're doing. Hey, I did this for the week. I'm gonna take a little break here and unwind and do something. You know, that's why you see different people like who is it? See if somebody comes to mind. It'd be like, I can't think anybody right now, but somebody they like to unwind from golfing, or they may want to do a retreat. They may want to go on a retreat to kind of unwind, or something. There may be a schedule, something to kind of take your mind off of what your goal for a second. So when you come back to it, it's so much clearer and understanding when you come back, because you may be too stressed in that area that you might need to take a break and then snap back into it. Now it's like, I can breathe again. And that's why you see most people, business people, that take vacations, because they need to take an unwind real quick and then come back in. And then when they come back into the space, the experience changes their environment. So it makes them want to, go harder.
Yeah,
so your experience is
I'm one of those people. I have to unwind a lot because I have an impulsive personality. And so I go real hard, real fast, real quick into something. And to the point where it'll cause anxiety. So I have to dial myself back. And I have to unwind and walk away from it. To just calm my brain down a little bit and then start back over where I left off. It's it is what it is. You have to know yourself well enough.
Yep.
To accomplish these goals.
Yeah, and something that a lot of people they do is the doubt. You should never ever think doubt ever, because the doubt will always kill you on top. So when it comes to you, you shouldn't even doubt it at 1 second, because it came to you for one reason. So why would you doubt it? Somebody transported that signal inside of your head and gave it to you, that information, and they told you a task upon it. Why wouldn't it be? Why would you doubt something like that? It came from somewhere,
You can do it. Always remember, you can accomplish that goal. It's possible. There's so many other people around you that accomplish that goal that you're trying to hit. What's the difference between you and them? They decided that they wanted to do it and they did the work to get there. And you can do the same thing.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that 100%.
Yeah. JT, you got anything to lay on that?
I think I was thinking about this the other day. This kind of could pertain to what we're talking about. I was listening to a song. Actually, it was like, I was in the gym. So when I be in the gym, I listen to a lot of like hip hop and stuff, because it just gets my vibe going. You know what I'm saying? And I was listening to a Meek Mill song. And he was talking about, don't ever count your homie's pockets thinking you deserve it. And so basically what he was saying is, don't ever see someone else's success and feel like you deserve what they have. When you don't know their story, you don't know what they went through to get there. And so I think about that because I've heard people tell me, it must be nice to fill in the blank, whatever. Oh, it must be nice that you, and they fill in the blank with whatever it may be, right? Basically implying that you had it an easier route or easier road, or they can't do it because of whatever excuse they fill in the blank with. And so basically I feel like we have to worry about ourselves and not get caught up in other people. And in today's society, that happens a lot with the social media era that we're living in. It's so easy to hop on and see people that are in shape, quote unquote, right? Better shape than we are, better shape than you are, better shape than I am, whatever it may be, right? Who's ever scrolling through, looking at whatever they're looking at. So it's so easy to, so easy to see other people that we envy or that we, see that we wish we had whatever they had, right? And I think it's important that we keep in mind when setting goals that we should be doing things for ourselves and not for other people. And we should also be focusing on ourselves and not other people because you don't know what someone else is going through or what they went through to get to where they are. You don't know what starting point they had, what advantages or disadvantages they had. Your life is not their life. If you're a single mom and you're comparing yourself to a woman that's her early 20s and you're in your late 30s, and you're comparing yourself to some chick you see on Instagram that's went and had work done and all this other stuff, that's not a realistic goal for you to set to look like her, obtain what she has when you don't have the same setup. You're not the same age. You got 2 or 3 kids. You're working a job or two, providing for these kids. This person's single. They live with their mom and dad, whatever, like totally 2 different circumstances. So we get caught up in that because social media is a highlight reel. People show what they want people to see, and you don't really see behind the scenes and the backstory behind a lot of things. So I think that we should, especially in 2024, social media is not going anywhere, obviously, but I think we should be mindful of when we're watching and we're looking at social media that people are only typically showing us the best of themselves, right? And there's a lot of filters now, a lot of Photoshop going on, a lot of surgery going on. So we have to understand and keep in mind that like everything you see is not always real. People say, well, perception is reality, and perception is not reality. Perception is perception. Reality is reality.
Yeah.
So I can perceive something, right? To see something on a 60-second reel and perceive it to be true. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. It's just my perception of it is true, but it's not true. You feel what I'm saying? Reality is reality. Perception is perception. Perception is not reality. So I think people need to understand moving forward that we have to be mindful of that when we're setting our goals. We should be focused on ourselves and being the best version of us that we can be, not worried about keeping up with the next person. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because your trials and tribulations are going to be totally different from that other person's trials and tribulations. What they went through, what they got to do to get there. And most of them, social media stuff is a lie anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. It's a bunch of bull crap. It might have took them 500 pictures to get that one shot that they posted.
Yes.
In the right light, standing in the right position, with the right shadow casting in the right spot. Showing all the expensive purses that don't have no money in them. You know what I'm saying? All the, but I ain't gonna go there. But all I'm saying is to piggyback on what JT said. Worry about yourself. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. That's what in my age group. That's what we used to call it, keeping up with the Joneses. Don't worry about the Joneses. Worry about yourself.
And one thing about that they telling y'all is straight facts. And you got to understand, all those cars you see, all that stuff is, it's pretty much, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a strategy. They get cars, they show it to y'all, you look at it, you like, man, I want to get this house. It's all attraction thing. It's an attraction that spark attention. And
it's a mirage.
It's a mirage.
It is.
And you got to understand, if you are a person that's of certainty and want to actually help people can see all through that, no matter who you are. If you're a person, y'all been around people that been sketchy, you know what I mean? You can feel it. You don't even have to talk to them. You feel
the energy. The energy is off. Like once I feel that energy, I'm gone. I don't want that energy around me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you capping, man. You lying. Like, no, I'm gone.
Even conversations. Me and JT has said this before. Even conversations, you can hop into a conversation and you can go, all right, man, I'll see you later. Because You can feel it. You can feel it.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of energy. And
That's facts.
yeah, so you gotta that's consuming. And if you think about it, that's consuming anything. Because if you stay
Yeah.
around so much consume stuff, then you're gonna turn around and it's gonna make your thought go, I took this in that wasn't even valid to me or important to what I'm trying to achieve. And I took
Yeah.
this in, now it took me to a different route. Just that simple.
And
Just
this,
on a thought that came in.
I want to add to this too. A lot of the social media stuff that we are experiencing nowadays, and I've fell victim to this a time or two in the past. So I'm not talking about something that I've not experienced, not gone through. I know better than anybody else. You know, I fell victim to some of the same things that we all go through. You know, I'm human just like everybody else. But when you're keeping up with other people, at least for me, when I was doing it at one point, it started to make me at some point not value myself as much as I feel like I should have been, because I was comparing myself to someone else that was older, someone else that had been doing something longer, someone else that had obtained more than me, not realizing that same person at my age that I was in the same boat that I was in, but I was wanting it right now because they had it now, so I feel like I deserve to have it now. So what happened was I started basing my worth off of the things that I had comparable to these people that I felt like were my peers, right? And so essentially, I didn't value myself as much as I feel like I should have at that time, because I felt like, well, I don't have X, Y, Z, or I didn't win this many shows this year, or I didn't place top 3 to this show and this person did, so this person is more valuable to me. Like, I'm comparing myself, right? And I had to realize, like, that robs you of your joy and your happiness, because essentially you are your own person, you are your own individual. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's dealing with their own destiny and walking their own path. You can't, what's for someone else is for them, and what's for you is for you. And so you have to remember that moving forward. Like, just because someone else has something and you say you want it one day, there's nothing wrong with that. You still may get that, but it may not necessarily be in your cards to have right now. But that doesn't mean that you're any less valuable because this person has, say, this car or this physique or this body now and you don't. Doesn't mean that you're any less important than that person is. But a lot of times I know we can get caught up in that because we feel like we put value in monetary things and materialistic things instead of worried about, like Bernard said, worried about yourself, keeping your house in order. You worried about the next person or the neighbor's house. So my grandparents used to say, you know, don't tell me to come cut my grass when your grass is growing over the fence. And that's kind of like, that's real. Like, worry about yourself instead of worried about what other people are doing. Focus on you, you know, because you either hating on somebody else or worried about somebody else is not going to get you there any faster.
And you missing out on your own journey. Like, you trying to get what they got, and now what about your journey? What about your story? You missing everything that's going on in your life because you trying to doggone have somebody else's life.
So think about this. What if you were destined to be greater than that person, but you trying to be them?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you so focused on trying to be somebody, like, you can never be another person because they're already that person. They're the best at being that person because that's them. They're the best at being them. You're the best at being you. You can never be as good as someone else is at being them because you just can't be them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be yourself.
But nobody can be better than you being you, though.
Facts. So that's
nobody.
Don't worry about nobody else.
Ain't but one you, and you are the best you that God made.
So focus on you. You feel me? So that's what I do. I mean,
God did not make another person like you. He made you were uniquely made. You yourself.
That's
and
so true.
I've not always done that at times. You know, I've got caught up in that before. So I know there's other people out there that have probably experienced the same thing. So I wanted to make sure I put that out there because, you know, you guys need to hear that.
I went through it too, man.
I'm sure I went through it too.
Yeah, I struggled with it too.
You know, and being a professional athlete on a competitive level, like, I definitely compare myself to other people because I feel like, you know, if this person beat me, then they better than me, right? That's how people judge you in the sport. Like, this team won, this team's better. This person won, this person's better. But you can't let that dictate your self-worth because that's not an accurate assumption of evaluating who you are and what you actually possess based off of, an event or a sport or materialistic whatever. So just something to keep in mind when you guys are setting goals and working on yourself. Focus on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna get a lot closer to obtaining your goals doing that than you will be focusing on somebody else.
Exactly. And influence plays a lot of key in that too. So as you're going down this journey, you got to understand, and I just like to paint pictures of y'all. If you're going down a path, if you see another path and that may not be the direction you're trying to go, why would you follow that path? That's like following somebody else's journey when you can clear your own path out and make your own way. It's always going to be curiosity inside the path that you're going to be creating. Think about the first person that made a path to go in the jungle or the woods or something. They was the first one to make it, so they had to make the path. They never knew what was ahead. Of course, they didn't know what it was ahead. They just had an object of where they was trying to go to get to where they was trying to get to. So it's the same way in your subconscious, any way that you think about it. If you have that path, it's going to be unclear at first. You know what I mean? It's got to feel that way. You got setting that goal for yourself. You're going to be like, well, how the heck I'm going to do all of this? You know what I mean? But you got to keep walking, and curiosity is going to get you there. And as you learn, and always learn in the journey. So it's not even a failure. So even if you in a season that is just maybe I'm trying to set this goal for myself, I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to get to, and it seems like I'm not attaining it, then you're in a season where you need to actually document and ask yourself a question. What are you doing? Start just making you go off that path. You know what I mean? And then stay near of it. But it's got to be important for you to actually go down that path and see that it's going to be unfamiliar to at the beginning, but you got to just stay near and get there.
They say that discomfort is where the magic is, man.
That's so true.
That's why the magic happens. So.
Yeah. And to lay on what Bernard said earlier about appealing to everybody else in social media, that is so. I want to get that across to everybody here. That's something that's really, really key. Like you are your unique gift in yourself. Nobody can be you. Nobody is created to be you. You know what I mean? You have your own gift. And if you don't tap into your own gift and get something out of your gift, every day you're losing it. Every day you're losing it. You got to understand, you don't know what time you're going to be here. You don't know how long you have here. So why won't you take advantage of it every day and take each in and learn and get something from it and grow? It's just that simple. You know what I mean? But we just have to do it and take action on it.
For sure.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything?
This is freegame.com right here.
It's free game.
Free game.
Yeah. So I'll leave it here because this was a really deep conversation and this was a lot of game. So
you dropped a lot of value in a short amount of time. There's a lot of value in a short amount of time.
Yeah, we dropped a lot of value to you. Bernard, JT, me, we gave y'all a lot of value here. So we want to be here. We'll be here next Thursday. Bernard, you got to get his book. I'm gonna let Bernard tell you about his book, man. That's big.
My book is called Earn Not Given. It's on Amazon. You gotta go to Amazon and search Earn Not Given by Bernard A. Wright, and it'll pull up. And it's called Earn Not Given because everybody want a magic pill. Everybody want a magic drink. They be coming to the gym. They ask me, what I got to take to look like you? What I got to take to burn fat? What I got to drink? You know what I'm saying? What I got to do? I said, the magic potion is hard work, consistency, and dedication. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Ain't nobody coming to save you. You got to earn it. So that's why it's called Earn Not Given. And so it's something that's going to help you be more accountable. It's going to help you be more organized. It's somebody that does not know what to do in the gym, or somebody that does not know what to go buy at the grocery store, or somebody that don't know how to put their meal together, or if somebody don't know how to put their workout together. I put all this in this journal, all that information in a journal, and I compressed it down into like a 40 or 60 page journal. Um, it's got a page of food that you need to shop for at the grocery store. It's got a page where it's got a whole week of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So what you do when you look at that list of your food list and look at the menu for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you can just interchange the foods that you do and don't like. Same with the workouts. I got a list of exercises that you need to do. I got a week of workouts in there with the workouts paired together properly. And all you got to do is if you want a different workout, you can just interchange, the routines or the exercises. There's pages on it to track your body measurements. It's a page to track your weight. It's a weekly meal planner page. If you do take supplements, it's a page in there to track your supplements. But all these pages are for 30 days. And then it's 30 pages in there to track your workout. It's a section on that page to where you can click bicep, tricep, chest, back, legs, or shoulders, and where you can document your reps, your rest, and what you did. So it's pretty much I call this a one-stop shop for somebody who has no idea what to do. You can get this inexpensive. It's probably the cost of a Netflix subscription for 1 month. You know what I'm saying? I wanted everybody to be able to have it. To me, money is not something that I chase, because God is going to give me that. What I'm wanting to chase is people to help them develop healthier lifestyle. That's what I'm more interested in. And I try to make it as simple as possible. So I want to reach as many people in this world that I can to simplify fitness and nutrition. It don't have to be as hard as people are making it, but we just make it so hard. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna plug your book in too, bro, on my webinar. I don't know.
Okay.
Tell them about the webinar.
Yeah, so I'll be going over probably about 7 or 8 different pillars of what you guys probably shouldn't be doing in and outside the gym. So everything gym, health, and fitness related, I go over that. I spend about maybe 10 minutes on each particular topic, breaking everything down, discussing some of the false truths that people tell themselves when it comes to fitness, health, and nutrition. So I'm breaking all that stuff down. So it's about an hour and a half amount of time that I'm sitting down with people that come. At the very end of the webinar, I'll do a Q&A section where I open the floor and allow people to ask me questions. I'll answer those questions live in real time. So whatever questions you may have or concerns that you may want to ask me about, you get those answered at the very end. But yeah, it'll be the first week in January. Right now I'm thinking about shooting it for the first Thursday of the new year. And so I'm going to plug Bernard, I'm gonna plug your book in at the very end. So anyone that hops on that can't maybe afford the services for whatever reason, or just maybe on the fence still about it and maybe want to do it themselves for a while until they feel like they need to, reach out to someone like myself, that's fine too. I'm obviously offering the book for people that, don't purchase my services. They'll be able to at least get something. So I want everybody to leave the webinar with something. I don't want anybody to leave with nothing. So even if they can't get, one-on-one mentorship with me, they can at least get an opportunity to purchase Bernard's book too. So that's something I'm gonna be plugging in as well. I also wanted to add before we go, piggybacking off of what you said, Bernard, about people coming to the gym or coming up to you. I'm sure it happens to you as well as it does to me. And people always ask me, like you said, what is it do I need to take to look like you? I very seldom hear people ask me like, how many years did it take? Or how much work did you put in? Or how much work would I have to put in? It's always, what can I take to look like you? It's never, how many years do I have to grind to look like you? It's never that. most people, at least, I'm not gonna say everybody because there's always exceptions to the rule, but most people want things done easy, fast, and right now. They want an easy
Yeah.
button in life, and there's really no easy button. If I find it, guys, I promise you, I'll tell you. I've been looking for it myself, and I ain't found one yet. And it's the closest thing I can find to an easy button is a book.
Yeah.
Let's just being honest with you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's a life hack. That's normally you taking someone else's information and you're gaining what they put into a book, and you're gaining it right there in one session of reading. So to me, that's the closest thing you're gonna get to an easy button is a book. Secondly, I want to add, when I said earlier, you got to fall in love with the process of the work, doing the work. Kobe Bryant talked about that as well. The reason why I say that is because, and Larry's even told me this, it's not about the destination. It's not about the money. It's not about the dream body. It's not about the perfect physique. It's about who you have to become to get to that point. And so you can't do that and obtain that without the work. The work is what makes you the person, or makes you the man or the woman that you're trying to become to obtain whatever it is you're trying to obtain, whatever goal you have, house, certain car, physique, certain amount of money, bank account statement, whatever it is that you're chasing, whatever your goal is, fill in the blank. It's about who you have to become first in order to obtain whatever thing you want. So you can't skip out on the work. You can't. It's just not possible. So I wanted to add that in because I know Bernard said people come up to him and they always ask, what can I take? You guys got to understand, like, anything that comes easy, it leaves easy. And if you could obtain something fast like that, you wouldn't appreciate it because you didn't have to do anything or sacrifice or invest to get it. And so that's why typically lotteries don't work, because the people that win, they don't really typically learn the lessons that come with making that type of money. So they don't know how to manage it and they lose it. You know, so just like people that have, you know, certain surgeries, typically I've seen people have certain surgeries, lose a lot of weight, and then typically years later, a lot of them end up being, you know, kind of back to where they were at one point in time before they had the surgery, because they didn't really change their habits. You know, it's about becoming the person you need to be in order to obtain the thing you want. So just want to leave that with you guys. If you guys stay tuned to my my social media platforms, you'll be able to see exactly the date I'm dropping the webinar and relaunching it for 2024, the first one of the new year. So you guys, you know, tap into my platforms, and I'll be filling you guys in on a later date as far as the time and the day exactly. So make sure you tap into that. I appreciate you guys' time.
Yeah. One thing, JT, you mentioned too, and you said a book, and I had to write this down, and I had to say mentorship too. You gotta have that's the easy button to it too, because if you don't have mentorship, it's not going to help you get to where you're trying to go at any point. Think about any level of a business organization, anything has a mentorship to actually get you. It's the fastest way to understand. You know, if you don't have a mentor, you'll be astray of where you're trying to get to. I believe in a coach. I believe in having a coach. Why you think we're coaches? We became trainers because we coach people and show them actually how to get to the health goals. If we wasn't there, they may get somebody else, but it may not be who they
need
can actually help them and serve them. You know what I mean? Like you heard from Miranda, she said it. She said, I've been with several trainers, but it would just happen to be me that helped. You know, every trainer is not going to be a right fit for you, and you understand that. But you can grab the information here that leaves you curious or make you want to actually go and attain whatever trainer you are. But it's still just information that we're giving you. And
for sure.
Mentorship is key. I highly go there. If you don't
We
have a
all
mentor,
have mentors, y'all. Every one of us on this live has a mentor.
yes.
We have, each one of us has a coach.
Got to, bro.
Got to. You got to have one. Because if you don't, you know,
I break down in the webinar about mentorship as well. I have a whole segment where I break it down and why it's important, what it really is, the benefits of it. So I go pretty in depth on it, you know, because it's a key point, you know. It's a shortcut to success, I feel like, in whatever field you're choosing. getting somebody that's already done what you're trying to do is the best way to learn. You know, you can take your time and figure it out on your own, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's going to take you a lot longer to do that than it is to get somebody that's already done it or doing it to show you how to get there a lot faster. And at the end of the day, it's all about buying back your time. So a mentor is probably the perfect way to do that, because essentially what you do is you shorten the learning curve. You get right to the money, knowing exactly what works and what doesn't work, pitfalls and roadblocks that you could run into. They help you mitigate those. And again, accountability too. Someone to hold you accountable for the things that you say, the goals that you're setting. So you're not setting mindless goals and you ain't really trying to obtain them. You're actually setting goals and actually have someone to hold your feet to the fire. That makes a big difference. Some people need that. So mentorship is very, very important.
Yeah. Totally agree there. I guess we'll leave it out there. I have actual challenges coming up real soon. It'll be a 7-day challenge just to refresh you, get you back going again. And for anybody that's listening on here that's an actual coach or a business coach, I have an agency now where I'm distributing assistance that can help you, serve you, so you can fast track your journey in business to get there faster if you have to. And that's basically what I have going on for what we have here. And Bernard will drop his link at the bottom for his book. We'll put it down in the bottom in the show notes, so you'll be able to receive it. You can click it there, get it, go to Amazon, buy his book. I highly suggest it. He's giving you the game. He's just basically giving you the game right there in a book. So I highly suggest you grab that.
The winner of one of the free journals that Kendrick was one of the winners.
Congratulations, Kendrick.
Yeah, Kendrick was a winner. He was the very first person to respond. So Kendrick got his free journal. I got 4 free journals left.
Yeah,
I got 4 free journals left. Y'all need to hit me in the DMs if you want them, because if not, I'm gonna get them to family members who trying to get themselves together.
I'll tell
church
y'all.
members. Y'all got one more week.
Yeah.
One more week to DM me.
But no, give them something at the bottom where they can just give a actual I'll say put earn at the bottom. If you put earn in the bottom of the comments, he can send you a book.
Yeah. Put matter of fact, hit me in my DMs and hit earn not given.
There you go. Hit his DM and say earn not given, and he'll give you a receiving book. That's a whole lot of value there. JT, you have anything? And he's got a webinar coming up. I highly suggest there, because he's going to be scientifically breaking down everything from there. Like, he's going to break down mindset, mentorship, everything to a key that if you're trying to get down to your shape and you want to understand it through this whole madness of health and fitness that you're so much confused about and trying to get to the nice body that you want to, I highly suggest you hop into this right here, because you're going to get a lot of gain from it.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll be opening up the floor at the very end for anybody that has any questions. So even if you know everything that I'm speaking about, let's just say you do, right? You may have questions that you need answered or you want answered, because obviously doing a live like this, you guys aren't able to really ask us questions. So a webinar where I'm actually opening the floor, allowing you guys to ask me whatever you want to ask me, that's a priceless interaction. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's free. It's free to sign up. It's free to register. It's free to attend. I'm not charging you guys anything. So feel free to hop in.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Most definitely, bro.
These guys right here have their show notes at the bottom with their handles on the bottom of it. We usually drop the handles there, but we're going to put them in the show notes for y'all, so y'all can actually click and go to JT's page. You can go to Bernard's page. We go to Miranda Hendricks. We can't forget about Miranda. She was sick. She had the flu, so she'll be here next week with us.
Yeah.
And like I said, she's a health fitness coach. She's dope. If you're any lady out there that's looking to get in shape, trying to get themselves together, I highly suggest you hit Miranda Hendricks up. She'll get you to your goal. It's good. I want to thank everybody that's came on here, and I'll see y'all next Thursday, y'all.
Yes, sir. Y'all be easy,
All
man.
right.
See y'all next week.
Be
Peace.
easy. Peace. Uh-oh.
Okay, we done. Okay. I had lost connection.
Hey, go ahead, man. If you got some final notes, we hit you. Go ahead. You can leave some final thoughts.
My only final thought would be make your mind up and do the work. Write it down. Do what it takes to get there. You can do it. It's not that hard. All of us have done it. You can do it. Once you start and develop a habit, your body is going to make you get in line and do what it takes to get there. So I'm just leave you with make your mind up and just do it.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up, Bernard. Man, I appreciate you, man. I told everybody else I put the notes at the bottom so they can reach out to you on your handles, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and they can go to actually get his book from Amazon. So everything will be in the show notes down there. So I appreciate you, Bernard, and we'll do it again next Thursday.
I appreciate you too, man. You have a good night. Everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.